have to practice on my own, right? And I would say the difficult parts for me when really struggling are usually when I feel overwhelmed by the enemy. Um, I would say that's kind of a neutral problem, I think, most of the time.
Might be.
Um, yeah, because uh, for example, one of my practice partners, he's a lot better than me, and so I get a lot of practice, I guess, playing more defensively, um, and escaping his attacks and things like that because he's very good at that kind of thing. Um, and so I have trouble, I guess, getting in on him,
Mm-hmm.
um, because he has just, I guess, a better understanding of how the neutral works between our characters, and
What does that mean though? Like, is it that like what when he's so there's only so many ways you can win at neutral, right? Is it that he like what character does he play?
he plays Fox.
Of course. So
And also Sheik, and also Sheik.
of course. Anyway, I mean, if you're gonna pick, like, yeah, I mean, he's 2 for 3 on the really tough ones. So I mean, like,
Yeah.
if he, is he gonna throw Falco in there too? Like, it's just,
He does play Falco for fun. I get a lot of practice on my hard matchups.
uh,
Uh,
I'm.
which I'll say I'm thankful for. It's tough, but you know.
Are these hard? Like, blink twice if I need to call the support group.
I okay, believe it or not, I actually really like those matchups. I know that sounds horrible,
No,
but
why would it sound horrible? They're important to know. They're 3 of the most popular characters.
well, you know, I mean, them being important would not necessarily mean they're fun, I guess.
Huh?
I think they're fun. I really do think they're fun. Like I think the fact that they punish in such a way and I
Mm-hmm.
guess how quick a lot of things happen. Um
What's your tag?
I feel uh Tony Olsen. Or I
Okay.
guess Tony is fine.
Will I find your VODs if I look you up on YouTube?
You might find something. I don't know if I've been on stream very much.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not seeing too much. That's okay. But do you have any vet matches versus this gentleman that we could take a look at together?
You know, actually, I don't have one for this specific player, but I actually was, I
That's
do
okay.
have a recording of some matches that I played against a very good Fox player who ended up beating me.
Okay. Yeah,
So
let's
that
take a look.
might be something. Yeah.
And are they SLP files? Are they YouTube? Like, how do we watch them?
Oh yeah, they're SLP files.
Uh,
I think I have them right here.
sure, send them my way. Then we'll take a look. See.
Let me just make sure which one's which, because they're just like a bunch.
Totally fine. Are you playing ranked?
Um,
Are you playing ranked or unranked or like what game modes do you play on Slippy?
I usually play ranked just because I tend not to have a lot of people who quit out on me. Um, well, I guess it's not as likely that they'll quit out on me, I should say. Um,
Okay. And what rank are you at right now? Like, where are you currently?
I think I'm right now at gold 3.
Okay, cool. So I'm not too far from you then.
Yeah, I did break into plat briefly, but I think I have to take the game, or I should say I have to take ranked way too seriously to get up there, and sometimes that's just not fun. So I uh I didn't want to commit to trying to get back to plat.
Okay, that's okay. But
Um,
maybe as part of this, we can re-examine the purpose of ranked. The purpose of ranked in your practice routine, if you want to, of course.
okay,
And your learning journey, because I think that ranked, you're right. Like it is a different play experience, and I think embracing some of that is helpful.
right.
Um, yeah. What's an advantage you can think of other than quitting out? What's an advantage to ranked versus unranked?
Before I answer that, should I, or
Send
so this is a
send
best of 3. Do you want,
send them over.
um,
Send them over
okay,
so I can bring them on my screen.
okay, cool. So this
So
is
that,
the first one, and then I'll just send them in order.
yep, perfect. Then I'll load them up and we'll watch.
Okay, perfect.
me just.
Let's see. I'm sorry. Could you repeat the question that you had?
Oh, let's. What I asked was, what are some advantages to ranked over unranked, other than people quitting out? Or how is the play experience different to you, rather?
I guess people are playing more to win, which in my head tells me that's more akin to what I should expect in a bracket match.
Yeah, absolutely.
Um, yeah, because I mean, obviously, like the game is ultimately about having fun, right? So I like unranked, especially if I want to play secondaries or anything like that. But
Mm-hmm.
um,
Have you sent those files over, by the way? I don't see them.
uh, I'm trying to send them on Discord, but it's telling me it's having an error or something.
Oh,
Let me
so you
see.
can't drag and drop them. I see. No, what? Why don't you
Yeah.
stream to me? That's okay.
Okay. That works.
Yeah. So we'll do like kind of more broad observations, but that's totally fine. Because then I think I'm gonna ask you after we've figured out some things we want to work on. I think I'm gonna actually ask you to play some ranked for me.
Okay.
All right, let's take a look. See. You are in control, so you'll have to drive, but that's okay. If I need you to pause on anything so I can make one of my handy dandy diagrams, I will absolutely do so. But yeah, let's take it from the top.
Cool. Let me just make this bigger. Oh, that does not look good. Okay.
Don't worry. It fixed it! Kappa. No, it's fine. So, I'm seeing you getting hit around a lot. Okay, that was okay. I like the idea there. You had the right idea. His percent was just too low because he grabbed the edge after. That's fine. So what do you think? What do you feel is missing from your play when you're watching this? Like, what do you notice about how you move, how you're acting, things like that?
I do think I play a little jittery, I guess. Like
Mm-hmm.
I tend to go for things that I well, I guess I shouldn't say that. I sort of have a similar plan most of the time. If it doesn't work,
Let's start
it's
from.
usually really bad for me.
Let's not generalize. Let's start from the beginning, and then I want you to point things out that are happening, not things that you think should be happening or might or will happen, but just things that are happening. Let's start there.
Okay. So
Yeah, we'll start from
I guess
we'll start from the video. We'll slow
yeah.
down the playback speed to maybe like let's do configuration and do so at the top. Yep. And then it should have playback speed options. Let's do 50%.
Where is that? Oh, I see it.
Yeah. And then we'll start this again.
Oh, that's useful. I did not know that was a thing.
I know. So already, you know what? You've already learned something useful for the future.
That's true. Um, I really do like to go for this like aggressive nair at the beginning. I try not to do it every game because otherwise it'll get predictable, I guess.
Okay.
But I find that a lot of people just drop down from platforms. Um,
Into
so I'll
center
just do
stage.
like instant running nair to catch them off guard, especially if it's the first game and they just really don't know what to expect from me yet.
Why not knee? Why not knee or stomp then?
Um, I think
Because if the whole
nair
idea,
is just
if
a
the
little.
idea is to catch them off guard, don't those do a better job of doing that?
I think they're a little bit harder to hit in general, and I think I'm more comfortable with the aftermath of a nair than I am with a knee or a stomp at low percents.
Doesn't
Aside from I
don't
mean I
those
guess
two combo
stomps.
don't those two combo to grab or like create knockdown? I feel like that's way easier to work with than nair. Like
I think
nair can be CC'd and stuff.
I do think like if I go for knee, I think that one is. Okay, actually I do go for stomp. Actually, I do remember doing that, but I very rarely go for knee in this situation just because I feel a lot less confident that it'll hit.
Okay.
Um, Purely based on how well I have to space it compared to the other two.
Okay. fair enough. We can keep going. I'm not gonna,
Yeah.
we don't have to dwell on this. It's just a thought. Like if we're going for a surprise attack, maybe we go for the one that's more impactful.
Okay.
That's all. So, what's your plan on where's safety? Where do you think safety is when you're being comboed by Fox like that?
I would say like I tend to sort of back up and just do either uh nair in place or fade back nair.
Okay.
Um
During hit stun, because I asked when you're being comboed by Fox.
oh, I'm sorry. When I'm being comboed, I usually try and look for a tech on platform
Okay.
if I'm being sent upwards, but if I get sent sideways like through nair combos or anything like that, then I'll usually just try and DI out and make my way to the ledge as quickly as I can.
Wouldn't that be the same DI in this case then? Because either way that you're going right, because you're starting in the middle of the stage.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. So I guess it would be DIing out for both cases.
Cool. Let's keep, because on that one there was a lot of neutral DIs. There was a lot of missed DIs. So I'm just wondering what
Mm.
happened there.
Yeah, I think sometimes I'm not like I'll be honest, I've not really explored the way DI functions in certain combos, I guess. So I kind of go off of feel, and sometimes I guess I'll have like a late response or something.
Okay, fair enough. Let's keep going. Makes sense. Knee. Boom. Yeah, this all makes sense. Boom.
This slide off nair, or I'm sorry, slide off down air really caught me off guard when I was playing. Because I hadn't really played a Fox who
That was just
had done that
trajectory.
before.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's just the trajectory. That's not like real slide. That's not like the slide off that like that people are like, oh my god, slide off against Falcon up here. Like that's not the one where they tech the platform are on it and then they like kind of like cling to it when they're getting hit off.
Oh, yeah.
Different one. That's more of a trajectory. I'd call that a trajectory cancel, but melee nomenclature is not exactly accurate or like, it doesn't have a good method. We'll put it that way.
Right.
So, cool. So that was probably why the stomp on the platform? Why not shield drop up here?
So that's actually one of the things I've been trying to work on. I will admit I should have learned shield dropping by now properly, but I am only now sort of actually doing it. So
Okay.
anytime there's a chance for a shield drop, I probably won't be doing it.
Okay. Well, is that something you want to see changed?
Oh, definitely. I'm working on it at the moment. Whenever I do warm-ups or anything like that, I just try and do like just practice shield dropping the tech itself, and then whenever I can notice it, I'll like implement it when I'm actually playing.
Okay. And how accurate would you say that? How often would you say you implement it?
I would definitely
Nice slide off, by the way.
oh, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I would definitely say like uh sometimes I'm like very late to it because I haven't sort of internalized the fact that it's sort of a out of shield option just yet.
Okay.
So for example, I'm like much more used to going for like an aerial out of shield or a grab or something. Um, and those are sort of my go-tos. So I uh, I haven't really put shield dropping in there quite yet.
Okay. So how do you do your shield drop exactly? Do you hold like what's your input?
So I'll try and do like a uh, I'll do sort of like a turnaround, which will let me position my shield um, in that same direction.
Okay.
And then I'll drop down the stick to the next notch, the diagonal one.
Cool. So you do the buffered one, basically. You do like the axe method or whatever. That makes perfect sense to me. That's how I do them. I noticed that you're not angling your. What I noticed when I watched that set, you're not actually angling your shield first. Like every time you land on the platform, you're not actually holding the shield direction that you described as being needed to do the shield drop. So I think that that's just like a simple. That's just a change of like how you're. That's just a change in your process.
Mm-hmm.
So I think no. So I'm trying to think of how I ask this. What are you looking when you're looking at your VODs or like looking at your matches? Because it's clear you've looked at them before because you've described things you've had answers to to all my questions. But when you're looking at your VODs, what are you looking for exactly?
Um.
Like
Well, actually, I'll.
yeah, if you're troubleshooting a mistake, if you're troubleshooting like a technique or something, what are you looking for when you're going through it?
You know, I'm not sure how often I actually do end up doing that because most
Okay.
of the time it's sort of getting tips like right after the fact, um, and trying to implement them that way. I definitely see the value in VOD reviewing. Um, I did that in like other games I played and things like that. So, the idea makes a lot of sense to me. It's just that I think for me, I do feel held back by tech in a lot of ways. And I feel like that's always going to feel the case in a way. So I haven't
Why do you feel held?
accepted the idea that I need to watch VODs, I guess.
What tech do you feel held back by?
Um,
Like, are you able to watch your opponent like for the game while you're playing?
yeah, yeah. I usually keep my eyes on my opponent. Um,
Okay. So what tech are you held back by then? Because if yeah, you're because I'm not saying that you had the cleanest execution of all time, but there was nothing especially glaring on my end other than the shield drop thing, which we discussed.
yeah.
So I guess my question is, what tech are you held back by?
I think it's mostly like I guess it wouldn't really be part of neutral as much, but it would be more ledge related things.
Okay.
Um, I've been like practicing hack stashing and things like that. They haven't become super clean quite yet, but you know they're getting there.
Mm-hmm.
I think I just need to, with regards to tech at least, I think I just need to put in a little bit more time to um clean them up. Um, and then
Do you think that hack stashing would have been the difference maker in that no, in that game though?
I think it would have helped a lot. I think for me, I get very predictable on the ledge.
Okay.
Um, and I think that's especially bad against a character like Fox.
Sure.
Um, so it for me, I think giving myself more chances to win, I guess would have made the difference. I'm not sure if it would have been enough to, let me win or anything like that, but I think it would be one way to get me there.
I think the biggest thing that I see when I watch that game is just you need better game sense. You just need a
Hmm.
better sense of what's going on and like and what the impact of your moves are gonna do. Like you hit that up air on when the fox was pressuring you on the right side. I believe the fox was at 0, and you looked like you thought that the fox was going to have to be below the stage, but they grabbed the edge. He'd already grabbed the edge by the time that you were starting your stomp, like your jump and your stomp. So
Yeah.
I think for this it's just more of just recognizing the position you're in and playing accordingly. Yeah, I think that understanding the foundational areas of the
Yeah,
games
I
are
actually do definitely agree with that.
yeah. I think that like knowing what your moves do like after you hit them because like that's the difference between Like, if you had known to, like, say, down angle forward tilt after that up air, right? Just, like, nudge him
Right.
down a little bit further, then that can be a kill. If it's also the difference between knowing that, like, okay, so when you nair forward into Fox with his higher startup, with his, superior startup frames, that nair is, like, probably not playing to its, to its natural advantages, which are its range and disjointedness at its toes. So when we're, if we're doing these, if we're commenting on, like, how our moves get beaten by, like, when we do approaching nairs, we kind of get stuffed out. Well, that might just be mechanically what's going on. We might have to just play that position a little differently. So I think that understanding dynamics like that are going to help you way more than hack stashing. I think that your biggest thing is we just need to up your fundies. Now,
Yeah, okay. I definitely agree with that.
all right, so let's stop streaming to me. What we'll do is I'm going to give you my spectator code. Let's take a look at you playing some matches in this live, in the live, in the ranked environment. And
Yeah.
what I want you to do is, I want you to not. So have you ever had somebody, like, give you advice or, like, coach you through games before? Yes or no?
Not this game, but I have had that happen before.
Cool. And when you played what game was it?
I used to play TF2, Team Fortress 2.
Okay, so high speed game, like high pace game, and not like a card game like Hearthstone or something like that.
Right, yeah.
Cool. So, I bet, recalling from your experience there, any advice I give you, I don't want you to focus, I don't want you to hunker down and focus on it. I want you to acknowledge the thought, imagine how you might do it, and then move on. Okay. Now, the imagining is even optional. Like, if you need to visualize because that's how you learn things, cool. If not, if you can just go off it, if you can just commit it to memory and move on, also cool. But I think that's going to be the name of the game here, because we need to try to, like, I don't want to detract from your overall play. Sound good?
Right. Yeah.
Okay. And then if there's any moments I see that are recurrent, I will tell you to pause and will not queue again immediately. Do we have a deal?
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
Fantastic. So I have given you my spectator code in the chat. Have you loaded it up into the into the thingy? Perfect. I see it here.
Yeah, I think so.
All right. And have you queued a game?
I will queue right now. I was just waiting to make sure.
Wonderful. And how do you find this is going? Do you have any feedback for me? Good things, bad things, etc.?
I do like this. I think I appreciate the most that it's like all about questions, because I think the approach of kind of like giving information is
Bad.
yeah, it's kind of just bad, because I won't always have you or anybody else to just give me information unless I explicitly ask for it. So allowing me to reach a conclusion is just way better.
Yeah, and like I can challenge you because we've had. Okay, perfect, Marth. This is a good one. So, in 3 sentences, what is your game plan versus Marth?
I think.
Nope, don't think.
The grab is
just
okay.
Instincts. Go.
The grab is really important in this matchup for me. I don't want to be killed instantly, but I want to kill instantly because.
Punish heavy, love it, and then last one. One sentence. What are your important neutral moves?
Nair is definitely super important. Knee is really important.
All right, perfect. Enough. That's good enough. Okay, love what you're doing. Love what I'm seeing. This all looks good. When he's on the edge, be mindful of his fair zone. We want to be outside. We don't want to dance in and out of that. We don't want to get too close to it, though. Boom. So yeah, when he's holding the ledge, fair zone. Just draw a line mentally where his fair is going to be, and that's the no-no zone. Like we can dance and play with it, but we don't go into it. Okay, cool. So he overshot us while we were moving, while we were kind of mucking about with our movement. So that means we need to wall as he's coming forward a bit more. We need to undershoot. Nice. Nice, good recovery. Okay, he overshot again with that dash attack. That means that, like, he's just calling out our retreat movements. Okay, so he then did an undershoot. Like, he guarded his space with that fair when we came in from, like, very far away. So that means we need to mix up our dash dance more. Perfect. And you can see when he's like doing attacks in place, we dash dance around them or jump around them and counter hit. When he's doing attacks into us, we can dash dance around them back. And when he like goes deep, we just hit him for coming forward. We put up a fence. And that's kind of like the RPS, the basic RPS of this game's positional combat.
Ooh, okay.
Does all that make sense, though?
Yes, I think it does.
Cool. So what are his... If he's overshooting, what moves is he using, do you think?
He's using dash attack.
Yep.
Running
F smash, probably?
Running F smash, yeah.
Okay, cool. So we got now the evil hairball. Alright, cool. So this guy... You put up your nair wall, because your strongest thing against him is your undershoot, but we don't, like, go all in with it. Like, we don't want to approach with our nair, if that makes sense. If we're going to approach or overshoot, we want to do it with our knee or something. Something that has impact.
Right.
I know that it's scary, but, like, we're stepping outside of our comfort zone a little bit. Because if we're going to go for a guess, we should at least make sure it kills them. So let's not attack across the stage out of disadvantage after we've been hit onto a platform. Like, with full in stomp, like, let's get back to the ground and get into a stance where we can fight from. Because it's not our turn yet.
Right.
We have to fix our footing first, then we can fight. But everything else you're doing is good. Just have confidence.
Oh my god.
If he's just throwing out up tilts, you can dash dance grab those. Believe. I'm really glad you saw that edge hog. This is how I know that tech is not your problem, because you were able to watch him while doing that and execute the counter. Okay, so he's upbeat. So we're gonna now start adding observations about this guy. He's upbeat every time for his recovery. If he's up tilting, we can dash dance grab. We just have to time it well.
Gotcha.
Or we can go jump around it and counter hit. That's fine too. But like, yeah, don't be afraid to dash dance grab, because that is the counter to like stupid ground moves, like stupid keep out moves. He's not having fun. Poor fox player. My heart weeps for him. Whoever this is. Is he like what is he doing? Yeah! Aw, we know better than that. Okay, so edge guarding is something we'll have to work on, but that's okay. This is information. Kablamo! Alright, so do you think he goes back to Marth, or do you think he tries this Fox again?
I think either way, I don't want to play Fountain, so...
Alright, very good.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I don't disagree with that. Like, it's not good in either matchup, so...
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Oh, he's just using the whole roster. Good recovery. You're too close to the ledge. Back up by about half a character. Grab after the nair. Because you're not gonna, even if you hit that stomp when she's in the air, it doesn't even do anything. That the grab isn't gonna do anyhow. Because the whole point of the stomp creates a tech chase, the grab creates a combo. You're scrapping next to Sheik too much. Very common thing. Nice. See, you backed up a little bit. You did it! And then her move missed you because you backed up a little bit. Nice. Grab is good versus Ninja Lady. She was just like, alright, I'm just gonna execution test this man, and then we're gonna execution test this man some more. Nice, okay. Just avoid her. Probably use your jump, yep. Love it.
Okay, that was funny.
Oh, that was sick. That was a sick ending. So, talk to me. How did you find that wind?
Specifically the sheet game or the whole thing?
The whole thing.
I think it went pretty well. I'll admit, because someone who's like evaluating me is watching, I played a little bit more nervous than I normally would. But
alright, so how do we conquer nerves? What's your strategy for dealing with nerves at tournament? We'll use it here.
I usually just try and, like, I guess, lock in. Like, I don't think about my surroundings very much.
I see.
It is a little bit difficult in this situation because obviously I'm...
Yeah, you're paying for me to be here. Like, that's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's a suggestion. So why do you love this game? Why Captain Falcon?
I really like this game because it's just, I guess, creative.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a lot of ways to do things. I used to play Ultimate, and that game is a lot of fun, but I think the fact that there's sort of combo trees that become sort of standard kind of made it a lot less creative to me. And
the set plays more rigorous. Like, it's just, it is, once you get the thing, you do the thing.
Right, yeah, exactly. And in this game, there's a lot more room to do other things, and because of the nature of how defense works in this game, there's a lot more creativity in that part too. It's not just like get hit into a combo, take all that combo damage, and move on from it, sort of thing. So in this game, it actually feels like you can do more about it.
So let me ask you, when you're playing, what is the coolest thing you've ever done, or like the thing, or a moment that just happened when you were playing that just made you stop and go, wow, that was so sick, I'm so cool, or this game is so good, I love this game? Can you think of one?
I guess it would probably have to be like, uh, I got an upset against a particular player, and it was
Who?
like very hard fought. So, the fact that I got that, it felt very good. I was like super happy about it.
Yo, I still remember the first time I beat a PR player with my with my ancient ice climbers. Like, those things stick with you.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
how did it feel, and what did you do to win?
I guess I think in general, I'm a very confident player.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because even now, I think I'm playing a little bit nervous, but I'm actually playing well. Like, despite the fact that I might play a little bit nervous, maybe my decision making is a little bit different, but I'm I still think I'm playing well. And I think that's sort of the mentality that I try to go into my matches with is like I'm giving it everything. I'm trying hard and I think I'm doing well regardless of how I end up doing. Um
Amazing. So that's good. So let's tap it. So if you're nervous about me being here, maybe the solution for you isn't to try to accept the emotion and move on from it. Maybe it's a source of fuel for you, because the impression I get is that you like the challenge. So maybe it's just, we'll see what happens. We have this feeling here, and we have this weird guy who's like talking into my ear. But yeah, let's just play. Let's see what happens. And then we take a
yeah.
deep breath and just go from there. Do you think something like that could work for you?
I think that's pretty much exactly what I was trying to do, actually. I think it helps a lot when I can specifically sort of zone in to what I'm doing. If I have a tournament match and I have people I know watching or anything like that, like usually I'll just focus in on playing. If it comes to it, then I'll throw on my earbuds and just have some music to zone into, um,
Hmm. Okay.
which helps a lot.
So
Um,
that let me pause you here, because you've just brought something up that I was wondering if it was present. So the music there, I think, is something that we would consider reconnecting with your senses, because what it's doing is it's giving one of your senses something for it to like focus on,
yeah,
which is a tool for helping us get into the zone. Like, that makes sense to you, right?
yeah, absolutely.
Cool. So, but there's a drawback to music, because music takes away our audio cues somewhat. So, what I'm wondering is, when you're playing these matches, the one thing I'm going to ask you to do, just to try it, just give it a gander, when you notice if the nerves start to like impact your play in a negative way, or if you start to feel that you're not playing to your 100% of your ability because of the nerves, and me being here, take a deep breath. Take a deep breath, acknowledge what's happening, like, just quickly. Don't use a long thought. This should be done in like, this should just be something as, I feel nervous, or I feel someone watching me, or people are watching, or a player is watching me. Just take a
Yeah,
deep breath, and as you acknowledge it, and as you're breathing that in, notice how it feels when it fills your lungs. So we're reconnecting with a different sense. We're using touch this time, feeling. And then once you're done, breathe out and lock in, and see if you can lock in. And yeah, let's just resume playing with that, calm, collected confidence. Do you think you can do that?
I think so.
Perfect. Cue.
I think that's a good idea.
Perfect. Let's cue and see and give it a whirl. Right now, the biggest structural thing that I can think of is edge guarding that we need to address. But in terms of like actual combat, your combat is not bad, for what it's
Okay.
worth. And I mean, like, I'm only in the Hall of Fame, like, I'm not exactly an expert on it, but
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I I think that, like, weirdly enough, the more I learn about Neutral, the more I actually don't hate Captain Falcon. I used to despise that character, but, like, now I have, like, very, like, positive... I have very middling feelings about him now.
It's so funny to me because I hear a lot of people tell me, like, oh, the character's really sick, but I just, like, I've come to accept the fact that he's not a cool character. Like, he's cool in a few ways, but I think, like, when it comes down to it, like, he's not a cool character.
He's a man of efficiency, and I respect that.
Yeah.
Okay, so this character, this doofus. Alright, I like the plan. Walling him out with aerials. Let's just make sure that when we're close and we think he's gonna laser, just randomly, like, go forward with up air or knee or something.
Right.
Because we want to call out him for lasering. Yeah. Okay, so out of shield timings need work. Wait for the shine and then, like, wave dash out of shield or, like, jump on the shine.
Ooh.
Nice. Easy clap. Okay, could have gotten that, but so good. I would have gone into him. I thought you were bad versus pressure characters.
Yeah.
So, thoughts on your counter pick? Or, sorry, on your ban?
At least Falcos at my level really like Yoshis and don't as much like Fountain. So if I ban Yoshis, most likely they won't go Fountain.
I'd go a different stage if I were the Falco, but that's okay. Let's see what happens. Oh, okay, weird. I would have gone FD.
Yeah, I don't know why a lot of them don't, but yeah, I agree with that 100%.
Yeah, like, that makes sense, right? You know what I mean? Like, it's just lasers, you're using the platforms really well, so it's like, this feels like a throw. And you know what? We are in the world of Gold 3 where anything is possible, but, like... So what is up with your edge guarding route? Like, what are you doing? Like, what's the plan there?
I don't think I'm, like, 100% confident in going out there.
Okay, why not?
Even though, I guess I haven't really practiced it.
Just do it anyway. Just weak knee him off stage. If we miss, then we learn.
Yeah, got it.
So the idea is that you're covering... So have you ever seen, like, a Sheik do, like, run off double jump nair or stuff? Or, like, follow it with back air to cover space? Or Jigglypuff's, like, soft back air edge guard versus illusions? Because it's basically you're doing the same thing with the Falcon's weak knee.
Right.
You're making a line that the opponent can't drop, can't pass, except because of Falcon's jump momentum, if they just, like, go low, if they just, like, recover in place, you also hit them. So you're creating, like, a line, basically, with your dynamic movement, and then if they, like, if you hit them, then you just confirm into the double jump up air, or recover to stage if they DI away. So that's all it is. It's just Jigglypuff's, like, soft, fair, strong, fair edge guard.
Gotcha.
And I know we've all seen that. Like, you've probably been hit by that a couple times.
Yeah.
But same idea.
Okay.
But this Falco is like, yeah, he's scary. He's starting to turn up the jets. notice you don't really grab much.
Oh my.
So let's pause here just before we go back in.
Mm-hmm.
I notice you very rarely grab.
Really? Okay, that's actually a first. I feel like I grab a lot.
Well, I'm saying you don't. So
Okay.
what's up with that? When do you like why not versus spaces? I think that trying to grab them is a good thing.
I think spot dodge shine is scary.
Okay, well do it anyway, because here's the thing. If they start spot dodging, we can always switch to our powerful aerials. But
Yeah.
they never have to do that if they never have to spot dodge. See what I
Right.
mean? So yeah, but other than that, the only other thing I want us to like try to add is the weak knee edgeguard. But other than that, just play, have fun, do your thing. Don't focus too much on what I'm saying. I like the run back. Denotes confidence. That's another reason why I like the knee tech chase and those like the knee in those scrap situations. Because if it trades, instead of doing 6, we do like 14 and kill them. Get destroyed. All right. I don't know who this Falco is, but if you're watching this, yeah, I don't know. I stand by it. Amazing recovery. Yeah, there we go. You went off. Let's go. It wasn't the knee, but like that wouldn't have hit in that position, so it's all good. Okay, so we missed him, but like that could have gone lethal so easily, right?
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
And I bet being able to do that would be way more useful than hack stashing. As fascinating as hack stashing may be. I think I've seen exactly one situation, maybe, where hack stashing would have made a difference.
I think this guy in particular is not like... You know, I will say my practice partner is like very aggressive on the ledge, so with him I feel like it makes a lot more
but like we're just
difference.
But we're just holding a position that we don't want to be in anyway. That's my point. It makes way more
true.
It makes way more sense. Like, doesn't it make more sense to just kill him better with our like super powerful offensive fast faller character? Like instead of being able trying to like do our Jigglypuff impression, like it's just I feel like we have to prioritize our goals around what lets us win, rather than what keeps us like being beaten up a little bit longer. Yeah, let's go. Easy clap. Okay, we don't have to queue again, but I want to get your feet. I want to understand where you're at, how you're feeling about this. Like, talk to me.
I think like I definitely think one of the things I need to focus on, and I think this is like one of the main takeaways, I guess, is like not to be afraid to go for certain options, because if I force them to deal with that option, I can switch to something else. And that kind of applies to every single character.
So,
like for example, if I go for the knee edge guard, I force them to do other types of recoveries or
yeah. So there's there's a concept that I want to actually go over with you. I'm going to share my screen in a second, but I'll give you the materials. And at 1 second, let me just make sure all this is kosher. Okay, share my screen. Screen 2. Can you see this?
Yes.
Okay, so this is the OODA loop. The OODA loop is a military. It's a problem-solving strategy that a military pilot came up with. Sorry, a military strategist came up with for pilots. Basically, the OODA loop is kind of a. It's meant to be used in real time. The idea is that we make like small observations that as we take in the environment, and the context of the match, or like what we or our givens, like our prior knowledge about the situation and our opponent. And what we do is we synthesize that into a problem-solving strategy. So the OODA loop stands for observe, orient, decide, and act, and then it loops back to observe. So the first one I want to go over is observe. It's all about what you can see. So what are the key pieces of information you can extract about the situation you're in quickly and concisely without loading up your mental stack? So the idea here is that we're gathering our givens based on what we have on the screen. Do you see what I mean here?
Yeah.
So this is one I did with meds, but like so the next one you're gonna actually answer for me. So orient. It's all about the things that are there and that you know are there, but that you can't see. So for an example, for example, you're saying that the opponent, the tough player that you fight regularly, he's very aggressive around the edge. But that's like information that you wouldn't really see on the screen here if we took a snapshot, right?
Right.
That's contextual information you have about fighting this opponent prior. What are some other examples of contextual information about a player that we might be able to use to make inferences?
I guess like habits.
Yeah.
In general, like things that they do pretty often that maybe I can punish pretty well.
Yeah, and how do we get that information if it's an opponent that we haven't fought before?
Oh, well, I guess you sort of like test the boundaries. You try things out and notice what they do, I guess, in response.
Yeah, so like what we do is, so yes, that's exactly it. So this is the decide step. The decide step synthesizes the information from the first two steps into possible lines of play for both players. What can they do? What can we do? What are they going to do? That kind of thing. Once we have that, we then decide how we're going to act. And that brings us to the last one, act. Now, the important thing here is whether our play is successful or not, there will still be a new situation based on the failure or success and the degree to which it failed or succeeded, right? So then that becomes new contextual information that gets added to the orient step. And this is why I'm saying don't be afraid of using your options, even if there's risk involved, because guess what? We need to know if we can go for them or how we're supposed to go to them. Because ultimately, this is a game that's more about how than what you do.
Right. Okay.
Does that make sense? Am I talking nonsense? Just all of
No,
this sound
yeah, it definitely makes sense.
Okay, I'll give you a copy of this. Don't worry, like you'll get all this stuff. This is just in my server, but like, which is very barren. I'll probably make a new one for learners. But, yeah, it's So how did this? So what are your thoughts? Like, do you have any questions for me? Like, how are you doing?
I think I just need to like see because this is all like, this is something I don't walk away from with like more knowledge about the game. It's more like more knowledge of how to approach the game.
Is that a bad thing or a good thing?
That is a very good thing because, like I mentioned before, if I walk away with like, I mean, obviously there's some takeaways that are more raw bits of information, but most of it is sort of ways to interpret the situations that I'm in. That way I can kind of reach my own conclusion. And so right now, I guess in a way I don't feel any better than I did an hour ago, but I'll be further ahead in my improvement than I would be without it. You know what I mean?
I think, well, that's not fair. You went for several Edgeguards that you wouldn't have.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what do you mean you don't have tangible improvement? You went for Offstage and killed him like 3 times. You also spaced around the Sheik's actions. I would say that you have tons of tangibles. You just didn't notice that you were doing them.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Well, no, if I'm wrong, tell me, but, like, I don't think I am. I'm very good at this.
No, I think you're right. That's true.
Okay. So, you excited to be playing with your newfound knowledge and skills? And
Yes,
to expand
absolutely.
them further?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, well,
I think
Mhm.
I will try and use this to, I guess, approach ranked a little bit differently, just because I think it can be a point of frustration for me, and so hopefully this sort of reorients my approach.
Perfect. This sounds like a plan. So I won't keep you from your ranked mission any longer, but I will say this was a pleasure. If you have any feedback from me on what I could be doing better, what I could be doing the same, just anything like that, anything to that effect, let me know. And like with any learner, if you have follow-up questions about the content that we covered today, please send them my way. I do like to help, and I promise I actually do get back to people. Yeah. Anything?
Thank you so much. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I mean, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
It's my pleasure. Take care, Tony.
All right, you too. Bye bye.